there may be something a little different about the typical canine population here in the October Marvin Gardens video. For indeed, that is certainly a dachshund wearing a jack-o'-lantern scarfie, but that certainly is not a dachshund at all. In fact, that's Jolie, and Jolie is Fanina's pup, and she's visiting for a while and does enjoy things in the garden almost as much as the dachshunds. Now, I haven't seen the boy around anywhere. I know he's close by, but this is late October, and it's an absolutely gorgeous day. I think we got up close to 70, if not in the 70s. And it's probably going to be similar to that tomorrow, but then it's going to get colder again. Here's the boy. Hey, boy. What's going on? He's got his jack-o'-lantern scarfie on as well. Well, let's see. I could show you Chives because that's traditionally where we start. They look a little tired, but they're still coming in. And in bed one here, these are all actually second generation radishes, meaning that we let the radishes go to seed, which is kind of what these guys look like. And they actually planted the next generation all by themselves. Of course, they're not planted very well in rows, and probably not harvestable, but interesting nonetheless. This is Swiss chard. We did manage to harvest and make a couple of stir-fried dishes out of the Swiss chard, so that was good. But you can see here, this eggplant has been touched by the frost. Not all the leaves, but most of them were. And same thing here with this marigold. You can see the blackened leaves that have been touched by the couple of heavy frosts we've had come through so far. These are just leftover brassicas. It actually looks like there might be a few Brussels sprouts on this guy, but not much else going on. And the beans have totally been done in by the frosts. And bad news on the sweet potatoes, which is where what used to be here. We got like one sweet potato, I think, out of the whole schmear. And it wasn't because of rodent damage. It was just because they just didn't grow. I think the soil was too compacted. Very disappointing. But anyway, on to bed number 2. These are Brussels sprouts, and Vanina just harvested some recently, so there's not many around here, but they're still coming in. And we're still getting a few broccoli side shoots, although they are slowing down quite a bit. Yeah, these Brussels sprouts are picked pretty clean. They also look like they're being hit by aphids a little bit, surprisingly enough. And then the rest are just these side heads of cabbage, which I still haven't harvested. And they look like they're going to be edible. And then the last surviving summer squash plant gave up the ghost with the last frost that came through. We did get a few late little summer squashes out of them. This, however, is a volunteer spinach, and it's doing pretty well. It'll last, I think, until at least the first hard freeze. We actually pulled a couple of little pea pods off these pea plants that were here. In fact, there's another little tiny one coming in. I don't know if you can see that or not. But those guys were volunteers also. This marigold is hanging on, but you can see the curly dried up leaves that got hit by frost. These guys are doing pretty well still, although they're kind of falling over. And Jolie is taking it easy. She likes to just hang out, see what's going on. Marigolds in the flower center here are looking very nice. Nothing much going on in the potato/onion bed, although we do have one volunteer romaine lettuce, and that is actually from last fall's planting. It just was, I guess, a seed that didn't sprout last year, but it sprouted this year, and it'll be fine through the first few freezes, probably. Other than that, these are just weeds where the leeks used to be, and you can probably see that the peppers have all been done in by the frost. So they're done for, and likewise the tomatoes, although the cages are still up and there's still a few green tomatoes hanging on there. They're done for, and so it's time to take the cages down, etc. Marigold's still doing pretty good out here. Now we're on to bed number 5, I believe this is, and those are loofah gourd vines, and the first frost did them in. We pulled a few loofah gourds, excuse me, I think one of which might actually be worth drying and peeling and turning into a loofah. This is, of course, where the pumpkins were, and all our sunflowers are done for. There's I don't know if you could see in there. There's a few sunflower seeds still in some of those guys, but they're all done for. And I think I even showed you last time the corn patch, which is of course also long since done for. In fact, we never even cut down the stalks to use for kind of fall outdoor decor. Still might do that, but I kind of doubt it. You know, that's about it. You know, it's looking like a late October garden. And if you look around to the trees, you know, some trees like this maple still have lots of green leaves on it, but the maple in the back there, if you look through this tree, is starting to turn yellow. And we also have one of the I'm not really sure what this bush is here, but it's definitely showing its fall colors. And the birch tree just beyond it has already lost all its leaves, so we're definitely into the fall season, although you wouldn't really know it from the temperature today. It's just lovely, and it's still, and other than the noise of some tractors going by and some kids on dirt bikes and the occasional plane taking off across the street, it's quite peaceful out here. A lovely evening. And in fact, that's all there is to talk about this in this edition of Marvin Gardens, which is October 2016. So I'm going to sit down and finish my wine, and then carry on with whatever else one tends to do towards the end of October in 2016. So, so I hope you're having a great fall and enjoy your holiday season. And from me, the Dachshunds, and Jolie, we will say, see you next time in November. Hear the Blue Jays? Good girl, Jolie. Bye, everybody.